Use the formula for the sum of the first n integers and or the formula for the sum of a geometric sequence to evaluate the sums in 20 through 29 or to write them in closed form. So number 29, 1 minus 2 plus 2 squared minus 2 cubed plus all the way up to negative 1 to the n times 2 to the n, where n is any positive integer. So the first step is we're going to try to write this as a geometric series, which means I need to somehow represent each term as a number times the common ratio raised to an exponent. So the first question is, what is the common ratio? Well, if you notice, the exponents on the number 2 are incrementing according to the index variable, which means our common ratio is which means 2 is a part of our common ratio. The other thing is the sign of each term alternates consecutively, which means that our common ratio r is going to be negative 2. I'm also going to rewrite this first term here as negative 2 to the 0 power. And so let's write what the sum looks like. We're going to go from k equals 0 for our first exponent 0. Our last exponent is going to be n. And so this is negative 2 to the nth power. Now, according to the formula, since this is a finite geometric series, the result will be a, which is the first term of our series, times 1 minus r, the common ratio, to the nth power, which is the number of terms. We'll have to be careful with this formula because n right here actually doesn't represent the number of terms. And then we have to divide this by 1 minus the common ratio r. Now, this formula is not productive in this case because this n is actually different from that n. And so we have to be a little bit careful with this formula. Let me write out the formula by first detailing what each of these letters represents in this context. So a is the first term in the series, and the first term in the series is 1. So this is 1 times 1 minus the common ratio, which in this case is negative 2. And then n is the number of terms. But the number of terms here is not n, since the index variable varies from 0 to n. So since we're including 0, that means the number of terms here is actually n plus 1. And this is all over 1 minus the common ratio, which is negative 2. So let's simplify this a little bit. This is 1 minus negative 2 to the n plus 1 all over 3. And that's my closed form. Thanks, everyone, and I'll see you in the next video.